Go who that, go who that, who that. Tell them who you.
Welcome back. We got a Bengalorian back in the house on May the 4th be with you. We got special guest Captain Vader. A new character has entered the building here. And we got Houday Baby fresh off his NFL draft coverage. You couldn't have been closer to all the action. That all said, I think we got to talk about the biggest news of the weekend right out of the gate. And that's the fact that all three of you are apparently now wrestling characters.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of any of this, but how did this even happen?
Dude, Sir Grogshire on Twitter decided to start making the Bengals wrestling experience. And from there, it's grown into, there's a whole league. I mean, there's a women's division, there's the men's division, custom Bengals ring and arena. I mean, he's put some serious hours into creating it. So
Unreal.
I asked him to add.
I got to interrupt, guys. I got to interrupt. Bengo, I don't know how you do this. I am dying. I am tasting liquids I didn't think could pour out of my body right now.
Yeah.
I'm smelling smells that I didn't think existed. I am seeing things that I've never seen before, and I realize I don't like the smell of my own breath. I am so jealous you got all that love from the Bengals today that I was going to give up the captain. But dude, you are so much a better man than me. Be right back. I'm gonna pass out. You guys continue the wrestling talk. Hey, isn't this part of the movie? Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Bengo, you are his daddy.
Just intestinal fortitude. That's all it is.
That's rough.
That's fantastic. So for those,
driving off a bridge embankment.
for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Bengalorian got a huge shout out on the Bengals Twitter. I don't know if it was on Facebook as well. I would assume you wouldn't just waste a graphic like that only on Twitter. I'd also assume it was on Instagram, but I don't get on either of those ever. Because
I think if you search Bengalorian in the Twitter GIFs, that somebody has already put that up there, huh, Captain?
Yeah.
Oh, wrong side. I always mess that. Yes, I did. I couldn't help it. It was amazing.
Oh, it was fantastic.
So much content being put out by Bengalorian these days anyway, with his his TikTok and everything else. Good God.
But yes, Sir Grogshire, thank you. The wrestling is going to be amazing. I can't wait till that kicks off. You know, me passing out, I didn't want to steal the thunder from him, but yeah, that's a great idea. I can't wait to get hammered and watch. I mean, probably get my ass kicked.
Did he reach out to you guys first and get any input on anything that you wanted done on it, or?
Oh
yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He went with asked for height and everything, and then kind of said, do you want to be ripped? Do you want to be? I'm like, of course I want to be jacked. And then what kind of entrance do you want? And I said, just as flamboyant, obnoxious as possible, because that's kind of what I do. So.
I asked for the bird legs to continue, and I think he got that right. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you guys,
Bengo killed it. Holy cow! I wake up and I'm scrolling through, and I see the most amazing GIF I've ever seen, and it's from my favorite team, and it's the man himself, the Bengalorian. He has ascended to stratospheric heights. He's at the top of the mountain,
man. I tweeted him. I was just like, "Hey, May the 4th," because that's my whole shtick, right? But when that came out, I was like, "Oh man, speechless." And Aaron Doster, that's a picture he took of me out on the stadium, kind of doing that, and they took it and they made it their own thing, man. And it was awesome. It was really cool.
fantastic. So you guys are all doing just big things. I know, like Cap, you got this new all ladies, you know.
Like I'm a pimp?
It's coming out of your house. I'm saying you got this all ladies pod thing coming out of your house. Like that's
Hube. She's
fantastic.
That's all her. She didn't even. She got it rolling. Didn't ask me a thing. I literally had to force myself in. I'm like, hey, let's. Me. I want to overdo things. Hey, let's get you a little cute little logo and stuff like that. And don't look too hard at the logo because I think there's a double entendre in the logo. That was accidental. That was completely accidental.
Now we're all going to look extra hard at the logo.
Yep.
I know a little bit about marketing. But she killed it. She went off with it, and I love the idea that it's just basically a casual chat. She knows football. She's been in the Chalk Talk film sessions with Coach Lewis. She's been on the field running drills with coaches in football 101 when they had that. So she knows football. But we've got plenty of people hammering out horrible draft analysis like F grades for Chase. There's plenty of people that get paid to do that. We want to hear some alternative views. So yes, absolutely. She did a great job.
And Bengalorian, you've had some, you started your own podcast, took a page out of our book. Congratulations there. You've been trying to put a voice to, just the regular fans. So if you want to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's not even like I hate calling it a podcast because you guys do awesome stuff and I'm not in that game, but what I was just trying to do is I even call it a podcast though, but it's like a project. I just want to give the average fan a voice. You know what I mean? I want hopefully someone up there is listening and goes, oh wow, John Doe from Fairfield, Ohio has this story, and that's why he's a Bengals fan. That's pretty much all it is, man. Just a running conversation with a ton of people.
Well, welcome to the podcast
world. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the podcast world. It is a podcast.
Okay. I am now an average fan, so I might have to be on the show.
Yeah.
And Shawn, you had a weekend, and before we even get to that, I do want to touch on something that you brought up even before your weekend began. You have something going on with your school, and I wanted to bring that back up before we get to talking about your entire weekend. But if you wanted to talk on that.
So we actually just finished and just ended
It's not really his birthday, but I collect Houday baby autographs.
So we had a booster-thon for our school where we're trying to raise money to build a maker space, which is basically like a space for the kids to come in, do computer coding, broadcasting, kind of TV broadcasting stuff, things like that. And we ended up raising Bengalorians. We ended up raising $12,000 for the school, so we should have it's a nice little start to get going. I want to thank everybody that was on Twitter and everywhere that donated. It's truly appreciated, and the kids are going to enjoy it.
Well, we'd love to hear a good story like that. That said, let's get to the meat and potatoes of your weekend. My God. And it started off, before we even get into any of the picks, we won't talk about the picks until we get to that, because I don't want to lose the shine on what had to be a lifetime experience for you. But that all said, we get to the first commercial break of the draft. And of course, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's almost as if that was a precursor to, unfortunately, how they did you dirty.
They did. I mean, it just kind of, part of me expected that because that's the Bengals draft history. I mean, and with it being day 3, it's a lot of them talking heads just talking and not focusing on the stuff on the stage. You get a few here and there. So I wasn't completely shocked that it happened. I thought maybe they would make a point to show the fans of the year that were going up there to make their announcement, but a few of them made it, and good for them. And
Well, we did get to see you up there on the very first night, sitting in that big Roger Goodell chair. So tell us, how comfortable was the chair? Was it everything that it looked like, all broken in, or was it just kind of just a chair?
No, it was very comfy. Like I sat in it and I sunk, and I was like, all right, I could just. I asked if I could sit the entire draft, and they told me no. My hip was hurting. I'm getting old, and I just thought maybe that'll help rather than the folding chair. And Goodell told me I couldn't blame him for my hip hurting the rest of the night. That wasn't on him.
You should have just carried the chair off the stage and put it down there, and then brought them a folding chair and just put it back up. I'm taking this.
Could you smell the Rooney money that paid for the chair?
I could not. I should have just sniffed, see if I could, but I did not. I was afraid of the farts that may be trapped in the cushion.
It's fair.
It is fair.
So, yeah, that was a completely unexpected experience. That was not in any of the plans, not in any of the talk, any of that. So when they came up to say, when he started off, said he was going to have a fan from each team up there. It was like, all right. And Falcons made their pick, and they're walking, as Pitts is walking out. I get this lady that comes up to me, and she's like, oh, okay. I'm getting kicked out already.
First time it's happened.
It's like, I haven't had that much to drink yet. Yeah. So
we've all been to those types of clubs before. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of sitting there, and I looked over at my wife, and I'm like, going up, and she's like, okay, because I guess she thought I was just going up to get ready to see the pick and all that stuff. And I'm like, no, going to. She's like, oh my God, getting the camera ready. And then walked up, and they just told me, have a seat. They're going to make the pick. Somebody's going to hand you the jersey. And then when Goodell comes out, you're going to hand that to him after he makes the announcement, and then just hang out, and you get a chance to meet your player you drafted, and we'll go from there.
So what did Chase say to you in that moment?
I just said, "Who day?" I said, "Welcome to the team. We're glad to have you." He said, "I can't wait to get to work."
I love that. I love that answer. That's fantastic.
Just short and sweet. And I mean, it was kind of when Goodell walked out, he showed me the card before he ever went up to the podium.
Oh,
he's like, "This is who you're taking. Don't say a word," and then went up.
So did you have to sit down at that point?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, we're not going to go into that.
So any other crazy stories for Friday before it is that you actually got to go up and make your pick? I know you were there with Bengals Jim. We saw the
Bengals Jim and James, and everybody in the inner circle section was great. We were just dancing, having a good time. It was, there's a lot of downtime at the draft. You kind of, when you're watching it on TV, you don't necessarily pick up on that because everybody's talking, everybody's doing everything. In between picks, you got Michael Irvin and Colleen Wolfe up on the stage, kind of emceeing, trying to keep the crowd into it. And they got the house band they had playing was fantastic. I can't remember their name now. No, it was good. The house band was great.
Really?
Yes.
It wasn't Kings of Leon.
Kind of like a retirement party in Cleveland.
No, that was just the concert, the Kings of Leon.
Oh, okay. So you got better music than we did.
Yes. They had a separate house band that played. Kings of Leon played that intro thing. They played 3 songs or 4 songs, and they were done. So that it was, and I want to remember the name, and I can't to save my life. But they
Kings
were
of Leon got me through my
crowd going and
test.
One more time, I didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, my microphone's jacked up. Kings of Leon got me through my insurance licensing exam. They're a good band.
Yeah, I enjoy them.
They sat with you. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So
Kings of Leon know a lot about insurance. It's amazing.
So how was the after party after round 1?
Round 1 was kind of lame. We went to go meet a group of other fans that Cleveland was having a party. We went to go to the Clevelander, and they wouldn't let us in.
What?
So they were in capacity. We're like, we're at a private, there's a private section up top, and they're like, nope. So we went around to the back door to try to get in, and they wouldn't let us in. I had some punk kid in a Giants Odell Beckham jersey try to talk smack to me about how they should have taken Sewell. And I said, the Giants aren't going to be much better. He goes, well, I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Browns fan. And I said, well, maybe you should invest in a new jersey before you try to talk football with me. And
right. Nice.
Yeah, it was it was a good time, and then we went to some little bar next door and got back to the hotel at like 2:00. Nothing crazy.
So then Saturday.
Saturday was the big day. I had to be meet at 9:30 after getting into the hotel at 2:00 again on Friday after an all day, So I was a little exhausted to help to cover up the bags under my eyes. We get there and they kind of get us all situated and stage for the kind of the parade to start the draft, which is cool to be in the tunnel where I was lucky. I was on the right side, which is where all the players had come down. So I got to see that tunnel and experience that. Right before I went up on stage, ESPN hands me their selfie stick. They're like, "Here, take this with you." So I'm trying to dance and carry a selfie stick, take pictures of the hotel. It was a whole, like, why? I mean, it's cool, but not the most opportune time. So then they told me to hang out backstage, and because we were coming up, my pick was going to be coming up. And I was like, "No, go sit down." 5 minutes later, they come grab me, and then hung out, watching the whole writing of the card process, and didn't really have much time in between everything takes. And then they're going over the names to make sure they have it exactly right, double check this, make sure my name's right, go through everything before they ever send you out on stage, and get the countdown, walk out. And I was cocky. I'm doing the Hulk Hogan, getting the crowd going. Stepped up the podium, and all of a sudden my knees were like, "What?" Made the announcement and just walked off, and that's it, man.
And none of us got to see it until it was posted elsewhere on the interwebs.
Right.
For everyone to see after we already knew who the pick was.
I remember getting the tweets about, "We didn't see you. They went to commercial." I felt so bad for Logie's daughter, Lana, who
I saw her crying. That was
is one of my biggest fans. And last year, while we were doing the virtual draft, I'd read her like a Pete the Cat, different things, and so to see her crying broke my heart. So I had to send her own little message to not cry. But then it came out so she could see it. So,
well, congratulations on, again, just an opportunity of a lifetime. I can't imagine how much the whole experience, the whole weekend meant to you. I mean, any other hidden gem stories you have from being there?
It was just a blast. Like I said, you get to see great fans from every team, and the great thing about the draft is that nobody's there to really hate on any other team. When you go to a game, you always have 2 or 3 people that are kind of jerks about things. There, everybody's happy to be there, and everybody has hope. We're all 16-0. Well, 17-0 now, but
or 0-17 if you're.
No, yeah.
So, just obviously, we have to get into the draft itself, and for people who were Team Chase, I see you, Jeff. I see you. If you were Team Chase, it was a day to be celebrated, and if you were Team Sewell, well, hopefully you can find a way to get excited about what is potentially a generational wide receiver that we took in the first round. Now, I know we've all seen the Bleacher Report F grade, which is
Browns fan, of course.
Effing ridiculous, if you ask me. That all said, though, tell me how you felt when you got to finally hear Jamar Chase, hear his name heard at the same time we all heard his name heard, called by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Ecstatic. I mean, just there's probably video somewhere of me almost jumping out of the chair, even though I knew it was kind of coming beforehand.
Right. It's still not real till you hear it, though, right?
Right. And then you sit and wait for him to come out, and then I'm just looking at the jersey like that's him. It's on there. We're good.
It's my boy.
It's my boy. You're my boy, Blue.
You said it right. It's not real until you hear it. And again, second year in a row that, God, I got this pent up anger. I'm so sick of the media bashing us. And all the Dolphins fans who had the Dolphin Chase and it's going like, oh, he's our next wide receiver. And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. Once I found out he was number one on our board, I started talking all kinds of smack, low key here. But it's like, okay, we know he's number one on our board. We know what he's going to do to help Burrow. We know the impact that he's going to have on the offense. But what if it doesn't happen? What if, somebody picks him before us? That relief, Jess and I, we lost it. Obviously, thankfully, finally, we're reuniting, some of the most prolific scorers in college football history. And it's our offense. Couldn't be happier. Absolutely couldn't be happier.
I believe Joe's now got the two number one receivers from the 2019 national championship game. Is that correct?
Accurate.
Yes.
Is that accurate? Is that I wonder if that's ever happened before.
Probably not. I mean, this was the first time that you've seen a quarterback have a receiver and a quarterback that played together, taken together on the same team like that. So
and then what? It happened. Did it happen? What, like two more times? Right? After that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but they weren't all top 10 picks. The Miami Dolphins did, yes, but as for Jalen Hurts and Deontay, was it Deontay
Smith or
Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith.
Yeah. I mean, they weren't both top 10. Jalen Hurts wasn't top 10. But, what were your thoughts, Bengo?
On the Chase pick, oh my God, I was ecstatic. I go back to Cap's analogy on the last show. Like, we pick up Carmen in the second round, who I think is going to be great at guard, and to be able to stack our wide receiver room like we just did for Joseph Burrow, my God. I mean, you're going to have Boyd running across the middle, Higgins tearing up the middle to kind of the thirds and going deep when he wants to, and then Chase just embarrassing DBs. Joe's going to drop back with our improved line. I don't care what anybody else says, and just sit there and go, oh my God, is this real life? And just hit whoever he wants, man.
Yeah.
And who else is going to eat?
Yes, sir.
And he was excited about it too. He's out there, saying they can't stack the box on us anymore.
Exactly, you can't stack the box.
And I mean, when you see a running back get so excited about a wide receiver pick, when it was between a receiver and a lineman, who you would think in your head, like, the lineman's going to help out the running back more, right? Not the case, or at least Joe Mixon's not allowing us to believe that's the case. Either way, I'll take it. So I thought it was a fantastic pick myself. I've been Team Chase. Ed, what do you got on here in Jamar Chase?
Ed's muted.
Ed?
I muted myself because my microphone is jacked up. No, I like it. And I'm glad we picked up some O linemen in the second round. So I mean, it's going to be a solid team. Like, watching all these wide receivers and all the options that he's going to have this year, it's good. It almost takes me back to the year of Chad, Chris Henry, and TJ Husmanzada. Like you didn't know who was going to get the ball back then, right? And either one of them was going to be fine. And I think we're back to that.
There it is.
The largest Chad Johnson jersey you'll ever see.
That's awesome.
Just think of how many pieces of fabric you could throw into trading cards with that jersey alone.
Oh, there you go. Not a bad idea. Hey, Chad, if you're listening, I need your autograph. About 1,000 times.
Right.
Yeah, he's apparently preparing for a fight. So,
Right.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh my
He's
God.
going to mess somebody up.
I just wish he
Any idea who's fighting yet? Does that come out?
No.
Maybe Ramsey.
So then in the second round,
Oh my
Just to avenge AJ.
Aaron's camera's frozen. I love it.
oh no,
Oh, Aaron gone.
is my audio frozen?
No,
No,
your audio's good.
Yeah, you're so good.
I'll take it. That's fine. So then in the second round, I think it's because I'm actually like browsing the internet to look up all the picks, which is totally fine. Then in the second round, you see the Bengals trade back, which that was a move that I don't know that anybody necessarily expected going into the draft. And then you see it happen. Rather than take the lineman, I mean, you saw Tevin Jenkins sitting there available right there at the second round where we were ready to pick. And instead, we trade that pick to the New England Patriots. And we moved down in the second round, and we end up still getting the guy that they had at, by all counts, a little kid out of Fairfield, Ohio. So tell me what your thoughts were when we end up taking our newest lineman out of Clemson there in the second round.
So I didn't, the trade back part, had the little gasp, like, we had all of these guys sitting there. And like I had said on the last show, I'm not a big college guy, and I didn't, so I know the names that everybody was throwing out. And to see, you have Jenkins was still there, Eichenberg was still there. You're kind of like, all right, this is going to be, they have their choice. And then you trade back 8 spots, and then you watch these guys drop off. But you got, 2 4th rounders out of it. But to see them draft this kid from, it's a great coming back home story, and kind of reading up on him, and he seems that's who they want. That was their guy. They know much more about this stuff than I do. They watch lots more tape on this stuff and know what they're looking for. What everybody says, and kind of look at it, and that's who I hone in on. So since that name hadn't crossed my feed that often, I knew nothing about this guy. They want. He seems like he's got the talent to be there, and moving him inside the guard is going to be fantastic.
Hey, Bengo, I think your audio is doing something crazy right now. It sounds like one of those like robots that where it would repeat what you wanted it to say or something. Crazy.
C3PO is literally over your shoulder.
He's under attack right now.
So it was different for me. I got a tip. I knew it was coming. I expected the trade. I knew the player. I don't like leaking stuff because, number one, it's really hard to leak stuff and be trusted to hear things. And I have heard and seen things that I should never see. And I like that. It's fun to me to get that understanding. But if you talk about it all the time, you're not going to hear anymore. But I heard the name, and it was not a name that I had seen any of the mocks, any of the national, talking heads, any of these supposed Bengal experts that, whatever. None of the, our followers, but there's some people out there that are constantly negative, and I knew they would tear this apart. So I tweeted out the GIF of Carbon. And then Bengal Sands were like, hey, what about Jackson Carman? And suddenly it looks like, why is everybody asking about this guy? So he starts looking at tape. The tape's good. And Willie Anderson was involved. And Paul Alexander was involved. And Duke Mayweather said some good things. And, hey, even Jeff Schwartz, who, ripped him for not taking Sewell, had some things to say, good things to say privately, which he said the biggest change is going to be Pollock. The biggest difference is not going to be the talent we're plugging in. It's the O-line coach that we've got. It's going to make the biggest difference this year. So I was ecstatic. I knew it was coming. I feel like they had him number one on their board. And, when you watch the tape, you watch his mobility, you watch what he can do as a guard for us. I think he's the right pick. And we've just got to wait to see him prove it and shut up all the doubters. And I'm here for it.
I think a lot of people are really overlooking the fact that Frank Pollock is back and don't realize what he brings to the table as far as like improving the line. Even I would even go as far as to say, like, with the guys we had on the line last year with Pollock, I think you get an improved line.
Absolutely.
And then you look at like the Jackson Carman pick, and like obviously, like you said, like he was not really like the on the radar of anybody. I really thought that they were gonna be able to get Tevin Jenkins, and I was pretty excited about that. And then when they traded back, I think I had the same kind of gasp as everybody else. Like, what are they thinking? Like, they're guys there. Like, you could any of them, they're right there. And they trade back, and then they get those extra picks. And then when you look at Jackson Carman, it's one of those things. I would think I was listening to Ken Brew, and he had some guys on a couple days ago, and they brought up the point that when they looked at like an offensive lineman that they're taking higher in the draft as somebody that can, they're not going to play tackle. They're not going to come in and play tackle. They're going to need somebody that can transition to guard, and he was likely higher up on the list as somebody that could actually transition over and play guard better than any of the other picks that they had on their board at tackle.
Very
Bengo,
well put.
Bengo, what you got?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, good deal. I had to cut my mic out. I don't know what I was doing, throwing up audible gang signs or something. But the I love the Carman pick, man. Initially, everybody was kind of like, "Holy, Evan Jenkins is there. Let's get him." They trade back. It's that moment of, "Oh my God, what is going on?" I think I ended up messaging Cap and his wife, and because I saw his GIF, I was like, "Who is this kid? Like, what's going on?" And they were like, "Yeah, we kind of heard about him a little bit." And then that's when I kind of was like, "All right, it sounds like there's a plan. It sounds like we got this guy who's been working with Willie, who's a local guy, right? You know, and he's gonna come back home, and he's gonna fill kind of that fighting guard spot. What do we need? A freaking guard, right? I mean, I know he's a little bit of a tackle, kind of like hybrid guy, but like I really think him coming in and he'll just maul people at guard, and you can't beat that with Jonah and Riley there as well. I think it's a good pick, man. I really do. Was it the pick we were expecting as a fan base? No, not at all. But is it going to work out? I really have faith.
Trust
I agree.
the process.
I definitely think it's going to work out more in the sense that, you know, it's a kid coming home and you got a great chance to bring him back on a second contract already. And we got, 4 years to even have to worry about that. So that's nothing but a good thing. He's hyped to be here. He loves the fact that he's coming home. I'm sure his family loves the fact that he's going to be here. Way easier for them to go to games than to have to use any of that, signing bonus money or second round money to try and fly family around. So good on that kid. Just really fantastic coming home story.
Yeah,
that all said,
the video of him, when they got the call and with the family not knowing who, they're still excited he got drafted. And then he's like, just turns and says, "It's Cincinnati," and everybody just loses their mind. That was all the feels.
And then Dalton got that awesome shirt out. It's Cincinnati. I love it. I wanted it. He got it out. I love it.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't there somebody saying earlier before the draft that nobody ever wanted to come to Cincinnati ever? So
exactly.
Here's a whole family excited
Everybody
that the kid's coming to Cincinnati. What were
You
you saying,
know,
Bengo?
that myth has to be busted. Like, seriously, they got to stop. And we as a fan base are just going to start ripping everyone who tries to keep that up. We're back. I'm sorry, we're back. It's cool to be a Bengals fan.
I believe that too.
You were trying to say
from
something,
a dude
Bengo?
with a neon orange polyester suit. It is cool to be a Bengals fan.
I was saying the same thing, Aaron. I just ditto what Cap said, man. It's cool to be a Bengals fan. And anybody that says otherwise, come see us at Paul Brown, man. I got a friggin' helmet on. Cap's got a neon polyester suit on, and this guy over here's got war paint on. You really want to come up with that? Oh yeah, there we go.
So then in the third round we get maybe what?
That reminds me of that commercial for the attorney downtown when he's at the Bengals the tailgate. And he puts on his gloves, and I forget which one it is. You guys know who it is, don't you?
Good story.
Thanks.
So
Cool story, bro.
So then in the third round we get maybe the steal in the draft. My internet is not playing with the camera again, but we get Joseph Adai
Asai.
There, I'm sorry, Asai. I've had some drinks as well. Bengalorian, he was tempting me when he had the Jameson picture that he sent in earlier.
How long can you hold that, Cap?
So Joseph Asai there in the third round out of Texas, defensive end, looks to be a kid with a lot of upside. So what were your thoughts initially when we take Joseph Asai there, which everyone's saying, again, just maybe the steal of the draft?
Another one that just,
Dude,
go ahead, right
Sean.
there.
Go ahead, Sean.
No, you're good. Go for it. I was like, go. I went first last time.
Him dropping and them saying they weren't expecting him to be there. It's like that Higgins pick all over again, except now we've got an absolute killer on defense. I just think he's going to be a nightmare in our division. And I think the outside of our division, they don't, first of all, they don't know anything about our team because, we're the Bengals. They don't care about us. But this guy's going to be a real wake-up call. I think Asai is going to play some smash-mouth football.
Seems to be a stud. Like I said, it's just he's got the quickness coming off the outside. I think he's just going to be, like I said, another one of the steals. Like somebody that, again, is the admitted not college guy. That watching highlights always look good. So
if I remember correctly, he didn't see a game of football be played or even really know about football until he was like 10 years old when they moved here.
Wow.
I believe he's from Nigeria. So they move here. He kind of picks it up and realizes, the one word that I kept hearing everybody that was like talking about him after he fell and then they basically stole him is that he's got a motor that doesn't stop. And when you go and you watch his highlight packages, I didn't watch a lot of Texas football. I watched the Bearcats, and that's maybe some Notre Dame, but that's where it ends. And going back and watching his highlight tapes, you just see him from whistle to whistle. He just doesn't stop, and I think he's going to be a very welcome addition, and could very well be the steal of the draft.
That's funny. I also didn't watch my first football game until 10 years old, and I have nothing in common with him athletically. But like you said, that you nailed it. They're going for those high motor guys. The workhorses, the guys that are coming to their nose is going to be the playbook. They're going to study. They're going to study their opponent. They're going to watch film. And then when the whistle blows, they're going to go nonstop. And you know what? All of those close games that we've lost lost because of someone's motor. One play. Think about it. That last play against Cleveland where he got that touchdown. How inches? Darius Phillips was inches away, and he almost made the play. It wasn't him, but you know what? If somebody on the line gave a little extra pressure, if somebody maybe missed an assignment and they didn't, they picked up their guy, they hit their gap, whatever needed to happen, just a little bit, just dig deep. He's the type of guy that's going to do that. Just like you said, they're building high character, all captains, high motor guys. It's going to be great.
No, 100%.
Thanks, Ed. So then we follow that up in the fourth round with the first of our fourth round picks. One pick after Cincinnati Bearcat James Hudson was taken by the Cleveland Browns. I would have loved to see him in stripes. I think he would have been a mauler personally.
I know now we have to watch him play for the Browns.
I know. However, we take Cameron Sample out of Tulane. Again,
96.
another guy. You guys talk about a guy with a motor. This guy is heralded as a guy with just that. So what were your thoughts? Did you know anything about this guy when he was picked? Did you have to look into him? And what are your thoughts since you've looked into him?
So I've heard the name, but that was kind of there you go. But that was about it. And then just looking at him, he's, like you said, he's the guy that makes the play, then runs back to the huddle. He's not lollygagging around. He just gets there.
Good word.
And goes back. So, I mean, it's another high motor guy, like you said. I think it's going to be another good fit.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Thank you.
Well said. Perfect.
Start getting
working
later into the draft, and it's less analysis, more let's throw some darts at the board and hope that something sticks.
And I'm here for the sample puns. Like, there's got to be, they have to have something working. Like, dual sampled. I don't know. There's got to be something out there. I got nothing.
I mean, it's hard to make a judgment on him yet because we've only seen a sample of his play, but
Oh! There it is.
Who's going to be the bigger sample?
No.
I feel like sample and sample.
I'm just glad I get to wear this again.
Employee 96.
New employee.
Well, there was a COVID layoff, so.
Ooh.
Yeah, say trainee up back.
We're rooting for you.
So Tyler Shelvin becomes the second of the 4th round picks, and Tyler Shelvin, just another LSU guy. We are apparently rebuilding the Go Tigers up here.
Bengals.
The Bayou Bengals, and this was Sean's pick.
That's good handwriting.
I know it was a hot blonde that wrote it, so it was good.
And
that's the card.
Okay.
My eyes are getting bad.
For those of you who have seen the picture of or the video of Tyler Shelvin being the only one hoisting Joe Burrow onto his shoulder to carry him off the field because he's a man mountain.
Going to be shelving some run games.
So the big thing with him was he came in at like 380 pounds or 385 pounds into the beginning of this season and then opted out. But he came into his pro day at like 350.
350? Yeah.
350, yeah.
So hopefully this whole, coming to the NFL, you can get focused up and we don't end up with any,
we don't want to be shelving him. We don't want to be shelving him halfway through the year.
We don't want to have to shelve him early in the year, God.
Man.
These
bad.
Really
What's
bad.
crazy is when you look at our division as a whole, draft picks the other teams had kind of look like they were trying to counterbalance what we've done. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I realize it's hard to believe that anybody would be picking to play us, but he's got a point.
That's a good point. Yep. And at what point? I mean, and they have to almost all of a sudden. So
that offense, that D line, we did so many good things in the draft. I'm just excited.
So the next
anybody saying that we had a bad draft, I don't know. They didn't look at it. You know what I mean? The Shelvin pick is awesome for the simple reason that he's 2 people wide right there on the nose.
God.
He's that Sam Adams.
He's 3 of me.
Pat Sims kind of.
I know he's
Bill
not.
Belichick wanted him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know he's not the 3-tech people were expecting us to grab or whatever, but like that guy is going to make center and guards' lives absolutely miserable. Because if you look at his highlights, he's shoving people back, he's tossing them aside. A running back tries to hit their hole, and there's a Mack truck in it. I mean, my God, I think he's gonna do well, and especially, I mean, a lot of people were like saying he had those weight issues or whatever, but man, you're in a professional program now. That ain't gonna happen.
Man Mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, he's huge.
New nickname.
So then you see. So then you see.
Yeah, but that's for different reasons.
Again, you gotta just make sure you're sitting down, bud.
He was at the bottom.
I can't quit you.
Deontay Smith becomes the final 4th round pick, and the trade paid off in large linemen. It was insane the way that they just continued to build on this line, and so you see another American Conference kid taken in Deontay Smith out of East Carolina, 6'5", 305 pounds. he looks to be a guy that is a project guy. You did take a project guy, but he has some raw tangibles. And so this is a guy who maybe he has enough, coming in and learning behind a Riley Reif to where he can take over the spot. Should Riley Reif leave after a year, or maybe Reif sticks around for another year after that and put him on another one-year contract? Who knows? But this is a guy who we don't have to throw in right away, and you get him in the 4th round. What did you think about Deontay Smith?
You can take project picks like that, though, whenever you essentially steal them and still get your guy in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not, the risk reward on that pick is, great, because you're not risking much. You get a few heads out, you're great. And you have that time, and more linemen is always a good thing, because we've seen, as they go down, it was last year we had 5 brand new starters at one point in time against the Titans game. Yeah, it was Titans. Because everybody was down. So the more you have in your arsenal to kind of plug and play, if they're capable, is great. So I'm all for stacking up on big linemen.
Bengals fans or Coach Minnick, who was it? One of those that posted a video of him, just like practice reps, but he. I can't remember what it was, but him, some of the D linemen, like, again, I saw motor. Project or not, we've got connections with people that can do something with an offensive lineman. You have that work ethic, you have that motor. Great, like you guys said, you can afford to pick the guy with those intangibles, with the athletic ability, with the size, because we got everything else we wanted. That's a bonus. And just throw him to Willie Anderson, let him shape him up, bam, starter.
So then we take a kicker in the 5th round, and a lot of people were upset that we took a kicker in the 5th round.
No
All
way.
said, this kid's got a boot. Bengo, I believe you have a nickname for him, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna stick. I'm probably the only one who's gonna say it, but McPherson is foot cannon to me.
Here's the thing. I like that, but what I didn't like was I saw somebody try to use Legatron with him, and that's already taken.
It's already used.
We can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Who?
Greg Zerline.
Greg the leg.
Legatron. He's. Yeah. We can't use that one.
That was Bengals Storm, and I liked it. But you know what? We'll just take it over. Whatever. We're gonna take everybody. We're gonna take everybody's number 1 spot. We're gonna take everybody's trophy. Whatever.
Ours
Take
now.
your nickname.
Dude,
So-
I know people were kind of wigging out about it, kicker then, but like, God, if he's here for 8 years, 10 years, and we just don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, okay.
I used to.
When a kick comes up. Go ahead, Cap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we already burned our Jake Elliott pick.
That's still okay. That killed me because I went to that training camp and I got some great. I'm a horrible photographer, but I got some great shots of Elliott kicking, and I liked everything about him. And so he missed a couple in preseason. Big deal, and then gone. Like I miss
and Randy
having
Bullock
that
beat him out for the
reliable.
spot.
Yeah, I miss
Super
having
Bowl
that
kicker, Jake
reliable
Elliott.
leg. And you can find me every time. I'm sorry. Randy, he kicked some good games for us, but every time you saw me in the end zone, the hands went up because it wasn't in my heart. I was scared to death every single time. And I'm hoping to will that ball to go through. And it seems like the numbers were good. On the season, the numbers were good. And then the biggest moments, left or right. I'm like,
Or calves cramps.
Oh,
Yeah,
both of them. Both of them.
hated making fun because if you saw him, if you looked, he didn't follow through. But that didn't matter. He missed some big kicks. If this kid misses big kicks, I don't care. I'll give him a long leash. That's fine. But hey, it looks like we have that position solidified for the next how many years? Good pick.
The fact that you can get past the 50-yard line.
It's so nice to be able to, like, when a kick comes up, go get a beer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't got to worry about this. I'm going to have another beer.
And on top of that, the kid can punt. He set the Alabama State high school record with an 84-yard punt when he was a senior, and he hit a 60-yard field goal as a senior in high school.
High school. Holy shit. I did not know that.
He has the Alabama State record. Well, at the time, I don't know if I can't imagine it's been broken. I mean, a 60-yard field goal in high school is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's.
So he's got both those records.
Sweet.
It's also nice that if we cross the 50-yard line, we don't have to worry about, like, are we going to score on this drive? Like, we kind of we have a JV version of Justin Tucker, and I only say that because we haven't seen him on the field. But if he's good from 50 plus as often as he is, I mean, I think I saw I'm not putting anything into the Gatorade video because I don't know if that's real or not. Personally, like with him spinning the cap. I don't know if that actually happened. But that said, I did see a video of him making like a 55 or 58 yarder where he still had plenty to go. Like he could have hit that from like 70.
Yeah, he's got a boot
leg.
Now you're gonna make the data nerds upset by talking about that because of course they want to go for it every fourth down, and I am one of those nerds. So no offense,
that high school coach.
Yes, but you know what? There's a difference between when the numbers tell you should go for it, or the numbers plus the fact you have no faith in your kicker tell you to go for it. Now we've got that choice. Now we can rely completely on the data, the flow of the game. If we're in a shootout with Mahomes, we're probably going to go for it. But if it's a close game and our defense is holding, we know we've got a kicker we can trot out there, and he's probably going to make it.
So then in the 6th round, we take Trey Hill out of Georgia, and I got a little sour taste in my mouth with Georgia as
You still Bearcats fan?
That last minute in the Peach Bowl. But Trey Hill,
go ahead.
Trey Hill coming off of 2 repaired meniscus in each knee, one in each knee. That's a lot. So I mean, that's again another project guy, but when he has played, he's been stout at that center position. That said, we also know that Billy Price, I think the writing's maybe on the wall for him as the Bengals did not exercise his 5th-year option. So they're kind of giving it a play for us this year, and we'll see what we got when the year's over.
See if the Pollock effect works with him.
It will. He's got heart. He was pissed last year. He's got heart. I think he's happy Pollock's back, so don't count him out yet. But
he's been active on the Twitter retweeting Pollock things, and I don't hate that.
Trey Hill is also a mountain of a man.
We got a lot of mountain men.
6'4", 331 pounds. That is a huge individual.
He might fit in that jersey.
Yeah, he might fit in that Chad Johnson jersey you got.
I don't know if they're letting centers wear 85 these days.
Who knows? Aren't they changing all the numbers up?
Well, it depends on if T stays with his 85, which I can't imagine him switching out since they have new jerseys printed with the 85 on it, and he'd have to buy them all back.
Mm-hmm. Make yourself a nice dress, Captain.
I'm telling you, it goes down to my knees. The jersey.
It was there.
He's so proud of himself. That smile says it all. The more interesting pick in the 6th round, though, ended up being Chris Evans out of Michigan. I know he tested very high on athleticism, like the RAS scores and different things that they do there. Not the first running back in recent years that.
Well, there goes my wife.
It's Chris Evans.
Not the first Michigan running back that we've been familiar with as Chris Perry in the not so distant past. He was here. What might have been he's almost a Kajana Carter story, right?
Oh God, don't please don't. No, I have a Kajana Carter jersey upstairs. Please don't do that.
Why would you do something like that?
Just saying.
Your computer could freeze you.
I hold nothing back. It's fine. But Chris Evans, he kind of is that. We lost Gino in the Gio in the offseason. Obviously, we lost Gino too. But we lost Gio in the offseason, and he's kind of that Swiss Army knife guy that he's got big hands. He runs very well. He's had some character issues. But what were your thoughts when we took Chris Evans?
I don't mind it.
I see the faces, Cap. I see him.
Shawn, you can't get us together.
And he didn't play a lot of games at Michigan. He had that little snafu with his test or whatever. Who hasn't cheated on a freaking math test? Whatever. He'll come in and he'll be a dynamic kind of special teams, like we mix a tire, go do something, catch it out of the backfield kind of guy. You know what I mean? I think he's a good addition.
That just tripped me out because I couldn't see you talking. I didn't know who was talking, so
I was trying.
I was like, "Who's talking right now?"
So I wish him the best. I hope he just balls out. But I am going to continue to pound the table for my man Travion Williams. There is a diamond that everybody's overlooking. I love Gio. I love what he meant for the team. I love what he meant in the locker room. I'd never seen the man take a selfie with a fan with a straight face. He always had a good time. His family's amazing. There is literally nothing about him that I don't love. And they'll probably win another Super Bowl, and he's going to help out. With that said, he's not here. He's not in stripes. I'm looking at Travion Williams to fill that role. I'm telling you. So, hey, maybe we got another late-round steal, but another late-round steal that we're a lot of fans are not talking about. Travion Williams, I'm looking for him to step up big this year.
That said, like, for me personally, I would rather see, maybe if we're looking at somebody on the chopping block, I'm looking more at Samaje Perine. Like, what have you done that these other two guys can't do? But that's me. It's not a knock on him. It's just what do you do that none of the other guys can do? So that's my only take on that. So, and then in the 7th round, we round out the draft. Finally finish with Wyatt Hubert, and I heard an interesting thing on Wyatt Hubert. I believe it may have been James Rapine talking about it on Locked On, that this kid would go to the special teams meetings as a just defensive end, and he was going to those special teams meetings as a senior even because he knew going into the NFL that he would have to be contributing on special teams, and he wanted to just get ahead of the curve. And I think that's a testament to this kid's character and just knowing that he's going to have to work his ass off to make a team. The Bengals take a flyer on him in the 7th round. It's not going to hurt him if they, take the guy and it doesn't pan out. But you get a guy that has that kind of dedication. I think there's something to be said for that. So, having heard that, what are your thoughts on this kid with crazy long hair who just he looks like a force not to be reckoned with? You pick on this kid, he's going to punch you in the mouth.
That's kind of, he has the look of a badass, and he's going to make a mark on special teams, hopefully, and then just work his way in. And who knows, maybe he's just the special team stud, but he definitely has the look that he can, punch you in the mouth and smile as he walks away after doing it.
And you know what? You can't count out a 7th rounder. Anybody, real quick, name your 2 favorite 7th rounders.
TJ?
There's one. Max Montoya? There's another. Hey, they can make the team. I've seen on Twitter, a certain wide receiver's mom got involved in a conversation when somebody on Twitter discounted Auden Tate completely. And, hey, you can't measure heart in the draft. You can't measure heart in some of the stuff other than those stories. You know, the fact that he's willing to put in that kind of work bodes well for his ability to make the team. So, hey, you know, for a 7th round pick to be able to hear something like that, I'm all in. That is phenomenal. That's the kind of guy that you want to pick in the 7th round who just might make the team. I wouldn't count him out.
Yeah, I think he'll hit special teams, and honest to God, I think he's going to make the team, and I think he's going to rotate in. I really do.
So you see, at the end of the draft, we really focused on the trenches as we took a running back, a kicker, a wide receiver, and every other pick was a lineman on one side of the ball or the other. And the Bengals, I mean, they kind of did it last year when we had to shore up things at linebacker, and we came back and did the same thing on both the offensive and defensive line this year, knowing that those were areas of weakness with a lot of holes. That said, there are some undrafted free agents. I just want to run down the list of the guys, and if you have any thoughts on any of them, once I've gotten done with the list, feel free to talk about anybody that you want to talk about from this list. But right now, as is being reported, running back Puka Williams from Kansas, punter Drew Chrisman from Ohio State. If you guys don't remember, apparently he did some crazy proposal. So it was
executed well.
There's a good proposal video out there for that kid. Ball State cornerback Antonio Phillips. He apparently got some crazy $25,000 signing bonus to come on as an undrafted free agent. Pro Wells, who's got a hell of a name already, from TCU. He's a tight end. Marshall's defensive end, another defensive end, mind you. Darius Hodge. Quarterback Colin Hill from South Carolina. And wide receiver Riley Lees, who everybody says could potentially be, or at least from what I've seen in any type of assessment on him, they say he could be our Alex Erickson, if you will. Any of those names stand out to you guys?
I think Reese definitely in the return game. I also think Puka Williams could be back there in the return game. I think
he looked quick.
Erickson dog is gone, and he's that kind of catch-all guy. You know, what is that?
It's a cat.
It was a Wookiee. It was a Wookiee.
I just got my train of thought gone.
It's a small Bengal tiger.
That's right.
Dude, baby's got a cow in his house.
Potential Erickson.
Her name is Elsie.
Because the spots, I got it.
I heard you, Bango. No one else, I think, could hear you, but I heard you still talking, saying that he could, yes, indeed, be the next Alex Erickson. So I appreciate the backup. Thanks for having me.
Sorry, the cat stole the show there for a moment. My bad. Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what, though?
Can't write this thing. It's a live show. Yeah.
People forget that Alex Erickson started out hot. You know, he had the vision, he had quickness, he made good choices. I feel like he got tentative in the return game later, and it killed me. But we have dynamic returners on the team now, so every time that he would, make one cut and get tackled, it was kind of frustrating. So, if we get somebody who is early Alex Erickson, absolutely. In a return game, you can't have too many returners. A lot of people want to see, Phillips back there, or, basically somebody who just had 10 snaps on defense. They're not going to return. Sometimes I'm in the stadium, I'm like, no, you're not going to see him because he just played his ass off covering so-and-so. Yeah. So now we've got a little bit more depth. Maybe we can rotate a third returner in, fourth returner in, whatever.
The fact that we actually have options going into this camp, though, between Puka and Lees and, Phillips, and, there's just a lot of different things that we could potentially do with these guys. And I think that, for everybody who's poo-pooing on this draft, I mean, it's going to be very interesting. Going to be very interesting. And F you and your F grades for rounds 1 and 2. Get out of here, Bleacher Report. Apparently, the guy's a Cleveland Browns fan, so
I mean,
He
here's
is.
the thing: like the Dolphins have a way worse offensive line than we.
so do the Steelers.
And they don't take an offensive lineman and they're like, oh, it's the greatest pick ever. Like, it's clearly a Cincinnati bias. Get out of here.
Well,
Jamar Chase is going to be dancing into the end zone.
It's bias and injury.
that's without mentioning the fact that Tua is a far less quarterback. I mean, he's an inferior quarterback to Joe Burrow.
How many times did he get benched?
Yeah.
For our old.
Hey, now
Backup.
Fitzmagic.
Fitzpatrick is a journeyman. I think
That's
he's
a good
played
point.
for every. I think he's played for every team and won a game for every team. And he might have.
He got better as the beard got bigger.
As the
I'm
beard
telling
got-
you,
yeah.
it's a secret. It's where I gain my power.
I'm just here for him wearing medallions on his chest hair.
You're the
Yes.
strangest thing I've
Okay.
ever heard.
I think that's on his OnlyFans.
That's part of his OnlyFans.
It's Matt OnlyFans. Yeah.
Oh man.
.com, Fitzmagic.com.
Yeah.
I'm happy I'm not the only one who knows that, Houday baby.
It's Matt
Hey.
Mike.
Kindred spirits.
So everybody likes their grades, and I'm just catching up on the kindred spirits. I tried to blow past it, and I couldn't. So everybody likes grades. So I do want to hear what your grades are as we finalize our thoughts on this 2021 NFL Draft. Houday, I also want to hear your grade on the experience.
The experience was an A plus. I'm gonna give the draft an A. I feel like they addressed the needs they needed to address. And I can't ever grade this team below an A. So
I can appreciate that.
I'm a homer through and through. I don't care what anybody has to say about it.
There's nothing to be ashamed of there.
Right.
Love it. I am going to say B plus, and B plus is phenomenal. I reserve the right to move that to an A once we see everything pan out. I honestly, like Houday Baby said, almost gave up the name.
Uh-oh.
like Houday Baby said, I don't watch enough college. You all that do and know everybody, holy cow, I am envious maybe, I don't know, but I've got so many other things. I can't. So Jackson Carman was not on my radar. He should have been. He's a local guy. I can't wait to see him in training camp. If he ends up starting day one, it's an A. It's an A draft, no doubt.
What you got, Bengo?
Yeah. Dude, you're going to hate me for this answer. I don't give a crap about the grades. I don't grade them. I'm looking at these players for more than just a letter grade. I want to see them in training camp. I want to see their intangibles play out. You know what I mean? I don't give it a grade, man. I really don't. I know that's a bull crap cop out answer maybe to some, but I don't care about the grades, so I don't grade it.
I mean, I've seen how hype you are that they're just a part of this team, so I don't actually think that it's a cop-out answer, knowing how much love you have for these people and how you're hyping everyone, even the late-round picks. You're out here just retweeting stuff and just doing what it is that you do as a super fan, and I mean, you just keep being you, man, and there's no judgment here.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, that's what we should all
That's
do.
all that matters.
Absolutely. They're wearing the stripes. We're cheering for them. We're yelling loud.
That said, I'm going to give everybody the whole grade. I'm going to go with B plus also, Captain. It's just the trade. If they hadn't made the trade, I think it's probably a B minus. If they take just the second round pick without trading back and still getting their second round pick, as apparently they were willing to do, but instead you get 2 more 4th round picks. And that's a huge steal, and for me, that's what takes you from a B minus to a B plus. Jeff, what you got?
So I've got a buddy from high school that I literally only talked to during Bengals season. Wow, that was loud. So we were going back and forth on it. I said that they were a B plus to a low A minus. I like Chase at number one. Obviously, I was Team Chase. I was really hoping that that's the direction they would go. I think, you know, as good as the wide receiver group is that they had before that, they needed a true number one that could get some separation. And I don't think a lot of people realize how many sacks Burrow suffered were coverage sacks. I don't know what just happened to Captain there.
He's laughing at Shawn.
Funny.
He's laughing at
Oh.
who they baby.
There were a lot of coverage sacks, and I think, you know, some of that is the fact that they were able to stack the box, and now they're not going to be able to do that. And so that was a good pick there. The Jackson Carman pick with the trade back to be able to stack in round 4, to be able to pick up a couple extra guys who may be projects or whatever that they've got to be able to build on. Some steals that they could get there. Asai I think I'll go on record now and say, and this might not be a hot take or whatever you want to call it, but I think Asai is probably going to turn out to be probably the steal of the draft. I said that earlier in the show.
Awesome.
And I like that. I like the kicker in 5. I liked everybody that they picked after that, including Captain America. And I really hope that he becomes a prominent role in the team so that somebody can show up with a cool orange Captain America shield. I'm throwing that idea out there for somebody that wants to steal it. They need to do that. It's kind of hard to steal that because then they would have to go buy Captain Bengal, and we've already got a captain. So
Being replaced.
we can't replace you. Sorry.
It's easier than you think.
It's very strange to hear Jeff, who is a guy that we refer to as the Jeffamist, be ultra positive. So I appreciate that.
I'm wearing a Chinadum and Dukeway jersey. Not many people probably
shit.
even remember that. My wife went and had this jersey made for me down at Cook's. So
Dublin boy
Notre
went to
Dame?
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My buddy was a walk-on at Notre Dame, so
Okay.
at the same time he was there, and I was like,
Wife
He may
went
have
to high school.
had to
Same high
have the jersey. The dude could hit.
Well, he also may have had more degrees than anyone on the Bengals at any
that's
point in
very
time.
possible. He's because like now he's running a like a real estate, like a big time real estate stuff, like commercial real estate thing. But
Like a boss.
yes,
So, Ed, what you got?
B plus.
That's your whole assessment. Well done.
Well
that's the
done.
biggest.
I'm
that's the
so
biggest-
proud of
that's
you
a-
for just
Ed's
staying
like-
in character with it the whole show.
one word.
Well done, Ed. Well done.
That said, any final thoughts on the 2021 draft? What you look forward to in the season? As you know, we got OTAs coming up and all of that. Any last thoughts here?
Just ready. I'm ready now. I need more football in my life. The draft is always kind of like that little tease. You get all excited, you get pumped up, and then you're like, now we wait until July. You
I
know?
felt the same way after going to I was on the sidelines with Dan Horde for the spring game, for UC, and I felt the same way. Like, I just got to see a game. I want to see more game. Like, give me
Right.
more.
Just want to say, Arrow, no, I do not have a credit card for the OnlyFans account yet. But anyway, I saw that message pop up. Had to answer. You know what? I'm excited for the team. I don't know what's going to happen with training camp or tours or any of that. I hope we get to go, but honestly, you know, I'm going to lose my voice first quarter opening game. Bengals Whitney talked about, her conversation with Elizabeth Blackburn and the idea that, these guys are finally going to have that packed opening day welcome in Cincinnati that they didn't get last year, and that means a lot. But man, I miss you guys. That hey baby, I didn't realize how big of a part of my life you had become, and I really mean that, because like the team has been with me ever since I saw them in '88, and the fans like you that I would see on TV, and then seeing you, and then meeting you, and come to find out you're such a good dude.
Don't tell anybody you ruined my reputation.
I don't feel the same. It's been a blast to, go to what games we could, but I miss, like, I want to give you the biggest hug. Bengo, like, I just met him last year, and this whole thing with Bengo has just skyrocketed, but we didn't have that much of a chance to hang out, talk football. Everybody's wearing masks. Everybody, man, I don't care. I miss you guys. I can't wait to hug you guys. Big old, huge man hugs, and just sweat and scream and cheer on our guys to the playoffs and beyond.
That all said, Bengo, or I'm sorry, Captain, you're actually the you've been on more than anybody except for one person on this show. So congratulations.
Thank you. Who's that other person?
His name's Clay. He does our Reds analysis.
Oh,
he's been on.
okay.
He's been on about 14 times. So
Nice.
You got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I can't. I'm a Reds fan, but that's a lot of work. Baseball is a lot of games. I hate to be Captain Obvious, but you play a lot of games.
Bengo, what you got? Your last words getting out of here.
Man, they both just said it so well. I'm ready for football, man. I'm ready to be in the stadium. I'm ready for the beer. I'm ready for the loud noises and the players out there cracking each other. Just that sound of pads cracking and helmets hitting, man. I don't get to do it anymore, so I love to be in the stadium and freaking listen to these guys kill each other.
Well, I feel like we'd be doing you a disservice if we didn't, round that out with "This is the way." So, on May the 4th be with you. This has been another episode of Pardon the Punctuation. We do appreciate you, Houday baby, Bengals captain, Bengalorian, making your time for us once again. It's been fantastic doing the shows here with you over, the pre-show, the post-show. Thank you again for all of your time. And until next time, Bengals fans, for Ed, for Jeff, I am Aaron, and we out.
Houday.